We have an amazing lesson for you today. We are talking about phrasal verbs with check, and I have 4 different prepositions that follow them. So let's get to it. Hello and welcome to our global classroom. We have an amazing lesson for you today, but first I'd like to remind you to join our social media classes, because if you practice with us, you can improve your English even more. Today we are talking about phrasal verbs with check. And phrasal verbs are difficult for English language learners because they can have so many meanings, and the prepositions are the ones that change these meanings. So people get confused naturally. So if you're having trouble with phrasal verbs, I understand. Another reason that phrasal verbs are confusing is because we have to memorize them to be able to use them correctly. And many times they don't make sense. For example, I can put on a jacket, but I can't put off a jacket. I have to take it off. So it can be confusing. Today we're talking about phrasal verbs with check, and I have 4 different prepositions that follow them. So let's get to it. The first phrasal verb I want to talk to you about today is check out. And this verb is one of those that has multiple meanings. So let's go over the first one. The first meaning is the one that I think all of us are familiar with, which is check out of a hotel, for example. And it means to settle the bill before leaving a hotel. You can check out of a hotel or you can check out of a hospital. Before you leave the hotel, you have to pay, or you have to make sure that everything is in order. And when it is, we say that you check out. Because we were so tired, we checked out of the hotel late in the afternoon. Now, the second meaning for this phrasal verb is related to a book. So you can check out a book from the library. Now, I know many of us at this point use Kindles and other devices to read books, but libraries are still very, very important. And when we take a book from the library, we say that we check it out. I checked out a new book from the library. Now, the third meaning for check out is a little different than the first two. And this one means to investigate or look at. So, for example, let's say you're walking down the street and you notice someone wearing a really nice dress. So you might want to say, oh, check out that cool dress. It means look at that cool dress. I do this all the time. I always check out what people are wearing so that I can get inspired. Wes and I can't wait to check out the new sushi restaurant in town. That's it for check out. Now let's go to the next verb. The next verb is check for. And this one is easier than the previous one because, as far as I can tell, it only has one meaning, and that is try to find. So if we check for something, we try to find something. For example, when you go to the doctor, maybe they check for health problems. They check your heart, they check your lungs. Hopefully everything's okay. But when you go to the doctor, they check for health problems. When we got our kitten, we made sure to check her for fleas. Our third phrasal verb is check into. Check into has 2 different meanings. The first meaning is check into a hospital or a hotel. So remember how we talked about checking out of a hotel? Well, you can certainly check into a hotel, or hopefully not, but a hospital as well. It just means to enter. He had to check into the hospital 3 hours before his procedure. Now, the second meaning of this verb is a little trickier because it means something completely different, which is to investigate. Let's see an example. Who is the cookie thief? I must check into it. Now, in this sentence, I am trying to find out who the cookie thief is. And so I'm looking around, I really want a cookie, and I really don't know who stole my cookie. I bet it was Wes. Our last phrasal verb for today with check is check off. And drum roll, this only has one meaning. No, it doesn't, does it? Yes, it does. To check off means to put a little tick next to an item on a list to indicate that you have done it. For example, when you have a shopping list and you go shopping for groceries, many times we put little ticks as we get things. We check these things off our list to indicate that things are done, we've gotten them, everything is okay. Feels good. Check, 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 check off. In June of last year, we checked seeing the Grand Canyon off our bucket list. By the way, if you're wondering what a bucket list is, it's a pretty cool idiom that talks about the things that you are going to do before you die. It's a bucket list. There's a movie about it too, actually. Well, that is it with the phrasal verbs for today, but we are not finished yet. We need to practice, otherwise we can't remember them. In the comments below, I would like you to use one of the 4 phrasal verbs that we talked about today. And you can use any of the meanings as long as you use them correctly. If you like a bigger challenge, make sure to use 2, 3, or all 4 of them, because the more you practice, the better your English will become and the more you will remember these phrasal verbs for next time. I hope you enjoyed learning about some new phrasal verbs. If you enjoyed this lesson, please share it with your fellow English language learners. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for watching and we'll see you next time. Bye! Check out our videos. Check out my dance moves.